Friends, Joe here at Reverb. Hope everybody is doing okay. Today, I'd like to show you some new riffs, a new warm-up routine from Orianthi. She's played with Alice Cooper. She was meant to be in the Michael Jackson This Is It tour. She was Breakthrough Guitarist of the Year in International Guitar Magazine 2010. Orianthi, she's awesome. A few weeks back, I did what is, I guess, the first episode of what's becoming a series now, where I took the warm-up routine of Corey Wong from Wolfpack. And I ran the routine in my own practice for a week or so, and then I kind of talked about what I learned from it, and I showed everybody how to do it. So now we're gonna do the same thing with Orianthi.
I like to bend the crap out of the strings.
Okay.
That was the main thing. Like, you know, honestly, the vibrato and just like digging in. So it's usually for me, like, you grab your guitar and you haven't picked it up for a minute because you're traveling, whatever. It's like, I just do like mainly blues riffs. I'm a blues guitar player, you know, so I learned when I was really young, but just kind of going like, you know, like just holding on to things, like trying to get the vibrato down and getting my hands, if they're like, if you're tight or whatever it is, you know, and doing different exercises, which is just stupid, but, you know, it helps me kind of, and I can go through that, but it's kind of like kind of weird stuff like that, but just, it's just getting your hands moving, you know what I mean? Or, yeah, just sort of like skipping strings and whatnot. And I don't really use a pick a lot because I lose them. So I've learned how to play without a pick. You know what I mean? Yeah, just getting your hands like kind of, you know, like being an athlete, whatever it is, you need to warm up. You know what I mean? So your muscles and everything. For me, I have a strange thing going on with my hand here. I have no idea, probably need surgery. But it's from overplaying a lot. And it usually gets very tight right here. And so it's just like trying to, you know, get my hands sort of like to a point where it just feels comfortable. And that takes me probably about 5 minutes, 10 minutes usually before a show. You know, I like to get in the dressing room, be alone for a minute, listen to Stevie Ray, Live at the Macombo. That usually gets me going. You put that on. And, you know, the fire that he played with on that show, I mean, I don't think anyone can match that, right? So it just gives me that inspiration. Hendrix at Woodstock or Santana, Sacred Fire.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I was thinking about maybe like this one here, this riff here is probably the main one I kind of do, which is pretty simple, but.
Okay, so I'm looking at this like if you stayed in one position in the key of B, like B minor pentatonic, right? Just kind of that blues box, and this one here, you know. Now she does it at a speed which is comparable to some form of lightning. And then what she does is she just trails it chromatically. Okay, so this is interesting. You know, this is a technique. You know, doing something and then just chromatically moving the position. You know, helps you spread the dimension of your fretboard. This is something that's totally opposite from Corey Wong's approach, which was not going chromatically, but moving in fourths or moving in fifths, so your ear is attaching to kind of the movement of the whole thing. But Orianthi's like, nah, just let me shred. Okay, so I'm still a little sloppy with it. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's just going up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then what's your picking? What's your right hand on that?
I have no pick. I'm just holding it.
Okay.
But I usually go.
That's a great lick.
You know, really, it's just about for me, you know, obviously just getting the cramps out, and I use that a lot. Like before I was on tour with Alice Cooper a lot, we'd play very cold venues. You know, we played up in the Alps and different things like that in Russia, and your hands like freezing and like literally like clamped, you know. And I would just do stuff like that and kind of mess around the dressing room trying to warm up my hands.
Okay, so she's doing basically what I like to call the stair step shape because it looks like stairs. If I were to attach some kind of harmonic language to this, I would think of this as a G minor triad. Going 5, flat 3, 1. And then a D major triad. So it's kind of looking at it as if I'm going 1 minor to 5 major. Once again, she goes chromatically down. Okay, so I think that this kind of a riff has a lot to do with agility and really getting up to speed your agility and your muscle memory and all that. I mean, like, it is definitely doing something for your motor skills and for your functionality and the communication between your hands, you know? Are you pulling off and then? Or...
Yes. You just hit it once. So with a pick, right? So. And you just, it's kind of a weird thing. So you're hitting that note right there, like, so I'm hitting the D, so.
Oh, I see. You're just jumping your finger. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Steve Vai does that, and I've heard a few other people. I don't know, when I was young, I was listening to, when I was like 15, 16, I was listening to a lot of different guitar players all the time, and I was into real instrumental stuff, right? So I would listen to Passion and Warfare to, like, you know, from that to, you know, whether it be Santana instrumental stuff to, you know, Steve Lukather, all that kind of, you know, and it's like, and you listen to their playing, and it's like they have all these like different techniques, and I got into Eddie Van Halen too, and all that kind of stuff too, and you know, for a minute I was into all that kind of thing. I was able to sweep pick back then, not so much now, because you got to sit there and, you know, really practice that. I just try different shit all the time, you know what I mean? So yeah, so they're kind of the main sort of like warm up weird things I do. I'm headless, but
there are these moments where I'm like, what? What'd you do? Like, what was that? And then it's like, even if it is the simplest thing, it's kind of like you can just see on my face. I'm like, what? So this is a really cool technique that I've never used. But basically, she's going pinky. The example is she started on the D, like on the 5th fret of the A string there, striking the note and then immediately following it with a slide to that same note with the index finger. And then, you know, kind of climbing up. Okay? I've literally never used this technique before. Maybe some of you have, like, you know, been doing this. I missed the memo on this one. But it has a really cool effect. It almost can kind of sound like there's some other, like, actual, like, effect on the guitar or something. There's like a little bit of a kind of like a stutter. It almost sounds like there's like a delay on there or something, but there's not. It's 5th fret of the A string. Okay, simple enough, right? But then which finger and how you're attacking it and how you're approaching it, there's probably endless different ways that the 5th fret of the A string can actually sound, which is an interesting kind of concept altogether. It's like you can take something so small and explore it to its kind of maximum space, or to your maximum capacity of patience.
Vibrato for me was the hardest thing to get.
Was it? Okay.
Vibrato, yeah. So it's like learning how to bend the strings, like you know what I mean? Or you want to, or more of an attack, where it's kind of like, you know, Stevie Ray, where he's like, you know, and he's like, and it's like aggressive as hell, you know what I mean? And you know, so it's kind of got, and then with Santana too, he has a lot of vibrato, like with the sustain and everything, like you know, like with Europa, like you know what I mean? He would just like hold it until, you know, and building up the power in your hands, that was the hardest thing, especially being a girl too. You know, have the strength as much. So it's like sitting there and fingers are bleeding, you know what I mean? It's like I've got calluses and all this crap's going on. But it's kind of, you just keep on pushing through the pain, you know, it's happens.
So basically, Orianthi prepares to shred by shredding. It's like she's already there with it. It's like her warm-up routine is like, I'm here, I've shown up and I'm ready. Part of the reason why this is fun is because this is a completely, almost kind of opposite end of the spectrum concept of a routine than Corey Wong had. Corey had a very methodical, kind of harmonically driven concept with his routine. Orianthi, on the other hand, pretty much dives right in and digs directly into the kind of nitty-gritty of her playing style. So it's almost as if her warm-up routine is, you know, kind of just mirrors her performance strategy altogether. They are kind of mostly, you know, centered around riffing and ideas that involve kind of usable musical concepts. As I was practicing this from week to week, it was becoming clear to me that I'm going to be using some of these riffs in soloing or in composing or whatever, because, you know, it's all there. It's a riff. Whereas Corey Wong's was more arpeggio, scale, technically driven. Orianthi is here to dive right into the shredding and into the riffs. This has been fun. Let's learn some more stuff and learn how some of our favorite players are preparing for the show, preparing for the recording, and just kind of try to get inside their head a little bit and go from there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope everybody's playing, expressing, doing whatever you can to stay healthy and to stay cool. So yeah, love from Reverb. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.